My name is Seung Min Kim, and I'm a White House reporter for the Associated Press. So Israel and Hamas has reached an agreement that would secure the release of dozens of hostages being held by Hamas militants in Gaza, as well as Palestinians being held in Israel. This deal was weeks in the making. It doesn't mean necessarily the end of the war between Israel and Hamas for the time being, but it does include a 4-day ceasefire where all of these hostage releases and the movement of humanitarian assistance into Gaza can occur. The White House has been taking kind of this pretty central role, but yet behind the scenes as they worked for literally weeks to secure the release of these hostages, which President Biden confirmed that does include some American citizens. And while the president has been working behind the scenes to try to secure this hostage deal, he's been getting questions regularly and in public in many different avenues on how that deal is going and whether that deal is close.
Mr. President, is it hostage deal near? I believe so, but I'm not prepared to talk. Believe so? Yes. Thank you.
It's actually the Qataris who had approached the White House shortly after the October 7th attacks that they had some information, they had an ability to potentially secure the release of hostages. So ever since then, very senior officials in the White House, President Biden, and leaders in Qatar as well as Israel have been working, or almost around the clock for parameters of an agreement that could secure the release of these hostages. And all throughout, President Biden has been pushing for more. He, for example, had been pushing to make sure that Hamas could give details of, for example, the gender, the nationality, the ages of the hostages that would be released, and kept really kind of going on that and until we kind of got to this agreement, earlier this week. The president also took a really key role by engaging directly with the family members of hostages. There were several conversations, particularly one very emotional Zoom, what White House officials in the room described as a very heart-wrenching Zoom call between President Biden and family members of hostages. And he had pledged over and over to those families, but also publicly, that he would not rest until all those hostages were released. And that's a message that he repeated again last night on Tuesday night when the announcement was made formal and said, when the announcement was formalized, and said he would continue to work to make sure everyone was released.